Yesterday we had talked about how this text can be really difficult to understand and read on our own. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide you guys with some strategies so that you can understand what this text is saying. One of the strategies we talked about was ReQuest. Now, Dr. Lapp and I are going to explain and demonstrate what ReQuest is. Now it's going to be you and your partner, and so one partner is going to play the questioner, the other partner is going to play the responder. Dr. Lapp and myself are going to demonstrate this, and then you guys are going to have a chance to practice it yourselves. All right, so it's on the first paragraph, right underneath where it says patterns.
Okay, Mrs. Miles, here's your questions. What is a pattern?
When thinking about what I just read, I remember them talking about a pattern having to do with, they were explaining it was a type of model, a guide that someone might use to predict something. Now, you can check because I'm not going to look yet.
In the fifth sentence, it says a pattern is a constant plan or model used as a guide for understanding and predicting things, and that's kind of what you said.
The book
Because every one she's answered so far is right in the book. Now I'm going to ask her one to see how she can use this information like a real scientist. So listen to this one. Why does the moon look different when I look up in the sky on different nights? Help her out a little bit.
Sun reflecting off the moon, and the moon's going around the Earth, which means the sun hits it at different angles, and those are the different phases of the moons.
And you combine it with some previous knowledge, some prior knowledge of yours, when we talked about the sun reflecting. So you can take that, you can add it in with this, and that's how, as a scientist, we would get to the response, the answer of Dr. Lapp's question. That was great. Excellent work.
Excellent work. All right, now, do you think you understand how to do ReQuest?
Yes.
Okay, so now it's going to be your turn to do this.
Geologists are earth scientists who measure the chemical composition, age, and location of rocks. That's correct. And I found that in the first paragraph and the second sentence.
For instance, geologists are earth scientists who measure the chemical composition, age, and location of rocks.
Is that right, Angel?
Yeah.
Great.
Leah asked me a great question that was in this paragraph that I thought she was going to ask me, so I studied for that question.
What are geologists?
What are geologists? And so the answer, geologists are earth scientists that measure chemical composition, age, and location of rocks.
What do geologists use patterns for?
And the answer was geologists use patterns to they use patterns to draw conclusions about how Earth has changed and how it will change.
Do you feel that it's something that you would be able to use in social studies?
Yes.
Does it have to be something that you use with a partner?
No.
Okay.
Savannah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it helps us understand the text more because if someone's going to question you, then you're really going to understand the text and try to think of what question they're going to ask you.
What if nobody's there with you? What would you do?
Well, you could question yourself and you can gather as much information as you can.
Amy, we taught our students to use a strategy called ReQuest. Can you explain that, what ReQuest is?
Yes. ReQuest was developed by Anthony Monzo in the late 1960s. It has been proven to be very successful, and the strategy was built so that students could work on their reading comprehension with a complex text. The original idea was for students to question the teacher. Preparing for this exchange allows for the focus for both the questioner and the responder on this text.
Why did you decide to use ReQuest with our students?
Well, we noticed that the students were having a really difficult time with this science textbook, and they were struggling with the complex language and the scientific concepts, and it seemed that we were reading the text for them and they were following along, and that was just doing them a disservice. So for us to teach them how to closely read this text, this strategy allowed for us to teach them how to break it down into small chunks and to create questions for each chunk.
Has this strategy helped your students?
Yes, because our students are reading carefully, they're creating questions, and by creating these questions, they're each deeply understanding and comprehending. When the questioner is creating a quiz for their partner and the responder is anticipating what the questioner is going to ask them, it's extremely motivating for them because we've created this game where they get to quiz their partner, and it's building their stamina because they're able to stay with the text. When they have to talk with one another and they're talking about this information that they're reading, they're owning the language, the scientific language, and their comprehension is fabulous.
Amy, do you think the strategy ReQuest is one that could be used by teachers in other disciplines?
Yes, I have shared ReQuest with other disciplines, and my colleagues are using it with the same degree of success. The students are excited to read their text, they believe they can, and they're no longer allowing themselves to be stumped by the language, the concepts unique to those disciplines.
That's wonderful.